Welcome back. In this video, I will walk you through how to add and edit owners within the system. We'll cover where to find the owners section, how to correctly enter owner details, and some important best practices to avoid common mistakes. There are two ways to access the owners section. You can click on the owners button directly from the dashboard, or navigate to the left-hand panel and click on owners. You'll notice the page is divided into two sections. At the top, you'll find your active owners. At the bottom, you'll see owners that are inactive. This helps keep your records organized and easy to manage. To add a new owner, simply click the Add button. When entering owner names, it's important to format them clearly, especially when there are multiple owners. For example, David and Rachel Smith. Here is another example with different surnames. Matthew Wong and Alan Lin. For entities, Unity Family Trust, Easy Investment Corp. You can enter the names as follows. Make sure the naming is consistent and easy to identify later. If a property has multiple owners, co-owners, ensure all relevant email addresses are included for each party. This helps ensure all owners receive important communication. If only one email address is recorded, other owners may not receive important emails, such as monthly statements. This can lead to confusion or potential complaints, so the best practice is to include all relevant parties from the start. While co-owners may have a positive relationship at the beginning, circumstances can change over time. Relationships can deteriorate. If communication has only been directed to one party, other owners may feel excluded and complain. Owners might blame you and say, "Hey, you are not being a very good property manager. How come you are only sending emails to the other owner but not me?" In this section, enter the owner's postal address. Please note, this is not the investment property address. This should be the owner's postal mailing address or PO box. Next, enter the owner's bank details. It's important to ensure that the BSB and account number provided belong to a valid Australian bank account and are entered accurately. Overseas bank details are not supported and cannot be used. Always double-check these details before saving. If incorrect bank details are entered, funds may be transferred to an unintended account during the end-of-month process, and recovering those funds can be extremely difficult. For the payment reference field, do not use a generic description such as rent. Some owners may have multiple investment properties in other states, so the reference should clearly identify which property the payment relates to. For example, using only Unit 3 may still be vague if the owner has properties that both happen to be Unit 3. Instead, use the townhouse complex or apartment building name in the payment reference so the owner can easily identify which property the rental disbursement relates to. In the Notes section, you can add internal comments about the owner. These notes are not visible to the owner. For example, you might write, "This owner prefers to be emailed only, no phone calls." It is recommended that you use a file sharing service and create a shared folder for each owner. For example, using Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive. You can then add the link to the relevant folder here. If you are not familiar with how shared folders work, please refer to our separate training video, which explains how to set them up and why they may be useful. Once all details are entered, click the Add Owner button to save. Well done, you've successfully added your first owner. If you have a large number of owners, you can use the search function to quickly find and filter for owners. The active search function can search by owner name, email address, and other fields to help narrow down the results. This is useful for quickly finding a specific owner when there is a large list of owners in your list. The Edit button can be used to modify the owner's details. You can add basic information first and update more details later as they become available. If an owner sells their property, changes agents, or decides to self-manage, you can mark them as inactive in the following month. This red button is used to mark an owner as inactive. If an owner is no longer active, they should be marked as inactive instead of being deleted. Do not delete any owner under any circumstance, unless the owner was created by mistake and has no records linked to them. Throughout the software, the same principle applies. Items should be marked as inactive rather than deleted. For example, if a property or lease is no longer active, simply mark it as inactive instead of attempting to delete it. It's very important to never delete owner data. In Australia, there are data retention requirements you must follow. For tax purposes under ATO guidelines, records should be kept for at least 5 years. However, legal obligations for agents vary by state and can range from approximately 5 to 7 years. As a best practice, it's recommended to keep records for 7 years to ensure full compliance. If you are an owner watching this video, even if your property manager retains records, it's always a good idea to keep your own copies of important documents, including annual and monthly statements, invoices and tax receipts, bank records. Please note, if an owner holds multiple properties, for example, 2 or 3, you only need to create their profile once. The same owner record can be linked to multiple properties later on. Do not add the same owner twice. Thanks for taking the time to complete this training on adding and managing owners in the system. To help reinforce what you've learned, there is a short quiz available. It's designed to strengthen your understanding and help you confidently apply best practices, such as entering owner details correctly.